And we are live back again in full effect at No Niche Zone, the podcast about everything. I'm your host, Priscilla Davies, and I'm so excited to be here with you on this Friday afternoon, maybe. I don't know. That's when you'll get this on a Friday. How's everybody doing? How was your week? You know, we're heading in towards the holidays. I was telling my engineer, Corey, when I came in that, you know, I have a guest coming into town, a little cousin coming to hang out with her big cuz for a couple days. And I'm thoroughly unexcited. Please, I hope she doesn't see this. But you know, when you live in a hot spot, it's just one of the things that you got to deal with, you know? Like, people are like, you know those maps where they have like the push pins, all the little red push pins? Like, I am the push pin for LA in my family and my friend circle, everything. And anybody who lives in LA or any other big city knows, you know, it's like people, they're like, oh, I want to check out, who do I know? Oh, I can just call up so-and-so. And, you know, listen, come through, you know, do your thug thizzle, but have a plan. Have a plan. Because a lot of y'all motherfuckers show up expecting the people who live here to be your tour guides, and not just your tour guides, but your planner, your itinerary guides and everything. It's like, baby, I'm just here to give you some free room and board and a couple suggestions. And maybe I'll take you to see the stars on the Hollywood Walk, which I try to avoid on a daily basis. It's like Times Square. You know what I mean? It's like I'm going around. But yeah, so that's what I have to look forward to. But you know, let's get into this show. Let's get it cracking, y'all. I've had a long week, by the way. I don't know if you could tell my voice is I had a busy ass week. I had a holiday party a few days ago and I'm still recuperating. I had a show this week. I'm also a comedian and a live performer as well. So I had a comedy show this week and, you know, I'm just trying to get back into it. So let's get it cracking. This might be a little different of an energy of a show. Who knows? We'll see. Although, you know me, when I start talking shit, here we go. So I want to start out the show by asking a very important question. Can women be hobosexuals? That's the question we're going to answer at the top of this show. Can a woman be a hobosexual? Do you know what a hobosexual is? For those who don't know, a hobosexual is a man who basically gets into relationships with women solely for the purpose of having a place to live, AKA a hobosexual. They're turned on by having a living space. And typically, hobosexuals are men. You know, this is something that men typically do. And listen, we all know hobosexuals. We've all seen them. A typical hobosexual couple that, you know, might ring a bell for you. Not usually, but a lot of times it's like the black man, white woman combo when he's living in her house. Okay? If you see a black man living in a white woman's house and he's not working, he's not doing anything, and they're not married, that's probably a hobosexual situation, okay? Also, you might have seen the hobosexual stance, okay? It's when the woman is at the cashier paying the bill and her hobosexual lover is behind her spooning her as she pays the bill. Okay. Y'all have seen this out at your local grocery, out at the local movie theater. You've seen this before. So hopefully I've helped familiarize you with hobosexuals if you weren't familiar to begin with. But I'm asking this question about whether or not women can be hobosexuals because one of my favorite TikTokers, Nosy Bystander, that's Nosy with a Z, Nosy Bystander. I love her, by the way. She's one of my favorite TikTokers. She sorry, my engineer's out here making noise. I thought you told me to I was like, open loud ass bottles. What's that, Dr. Pepper? I thought he was telling me to shh, but it was actually just the soda. So I love me some Nosy Bystander. She is on TikTok and she basically talks about like celebrity hot goss. And she's like my go-to. She catches everything like in the moment. And she also talks about like fun little Twitter threads. And this was a Twitter thread that she brought up. About a man who was saying, hey, guess what? Women can be hobosexuals too. Okay? I'm going to play this and then we're going to talk about it. I want you to formulate your thoughts. Can a woman be a hobosexual?
On Twitter, and somebody wrote this: women are homosexuals too. And they proceeded by showing you this thread. So the girl starts off and says, you stay by yourself. He replied, yeah, why? She said, I just be wanting to know. The last dude I met on here moved me in just for me to find out he had somebody else there already. You heard that right. He replied back and says, laughing my butt off. So you just be out here looking for to move in with? She said, is that bad? I get food stamps, so I'll be wanting somebody to cook for. Now, when I got to the comments, somebody said this: if she cook a mean baked mac and cheese, I'll probably let her stay for real, right? Because this person is being honest. Nobody else said, how much food stamps we talking about? Because that's the first thing I thought, like, okay, in this economy, you talking about the upper 400s, you got yourself a deal.
Okay, let me pause it right there. Okay? So, we have this scenario where literally they're on like, I guess, Plenty of Fish or one of them apps, okay? And she goes straight to the point. And she's like, you know, I got food stamps. I be wanting to cook for somebody. What's really good, okay? Let's see what happens.
Now think about it, right? Because I asked y'all to turn this on when you got in here. Somebody's saying they just want a place to lay their head, and they come with food stamps, possibly in the upper 400s. And they cook, right? Asset. Now, another guy took to Facebook dating, which I'm assuming this is where this is from. And he posted this and said, they not planned this year, fam. So somebody by the name of Kay, who's 41 years old, says that if I can't move in or you not giving me hotel money, don't like my profile. Keep moving. I'm unemployed. And yes.
First of all, Kay, I love the fact that you just came straight to the point. She said, if I can't move in, imagine. And this is her dating profile, okay? If I can't move in or you not giving me hotel money, don't like my profile. Respectfully, Kay, I hear you. And I like that she's straight to the point, which is going to play into this.
She's looking for a long-term relationship.
I would be too. With those conditions.
The guy started off the thread calling her a hobosexual. But this person had cleaned it up and said, but notice how she didn't try to trick him. Because that is the overarching theme of hobo. They literally trick you, think that they gonna be there for you and wine you and dine you, all just to slither into your house in the dead of winter. But she was up front and she brought something to the table.
Okay? I couldn't have said it better myself. Okay? That's the difference here, guys. That's the difference. A hobosexual, not only are they turned on by the prospect of having a living space, but they are manipulators, y'all. That's the difference. They act like they love you. They don't love you. They love your home. They act like they love you. They want to be with you. They love bomb you, wine and dine you, all that with the intentions of using you for your home, your food, and your sex. Your good sex, okay? I will say this about a hobosexual, though. From my understanding, they are very good lovers. They are very good lovers. They know how to cater to their partners. Because, I mean, they got to be, because that's the only thing they're offering is dick. That's it. So it got to be good, okay? But that is the critical point here. I don't want to say male homosexuals, a homosexual, period, because they usually are men. They be lying and sneaking and manipulating and using these vulnerable women who are looking for love just so they can have a place to lay their head down, just so they can have somebody to cook for them. These women were upfront and open from jump. From jump. One time I met a dude was it Tinder? One of those. I met a dude on Tinder and we were talking back and forth very lightly, not too intense, but for a week, okay? We were chatting back and forth before we finally went out for a drink. And why did I find out on our first date that this fool had a whole child. How did I not know that before I showed up for the first date? We've been talking for a week on Tinder. Why are they all with a T? TikTok, Twitter, Tinder. Damn. On Tinder. And you have a profile. I would think that that would be something that would be worth mentioning in your profile, that you're a fucking father. They be sneaking and deaking, okay? They be out here fucking telling you one thing or hiding information when they're really trying to do something else. I mean, did I end up dating this guy? Of course I did, because I was stupid. I was stupid and I was young, and he was very, very attractive. He was very attractive. But that's the point, is that these women were upfront and honest. Oh, girl had it in her profile. If I can't move in, scroll, swipe left. I love Kay. I want to hang out with her on the weekends, you know? And the other girl, within a couple, literally two bubbles, she was like, so, do you live with anybody? Because I'm trying to find a place to stay. That's number one. Number two, they brought something to the table. She said, I'm coming in with food stamps and I'll be wanting somebody to cook for her. So she's coming in with, as nosy bystanders said maybe upwards of $400 worth of food stamps. Someone in the comments said $527 per. Okay. So she's coming, that's a lot of money. $400 worth of food stamps. She's coming in with that. And she said, I'm a cook for you. Like those people on Twitter said, listen, show me a picture of the food. Show me a picture of the plate so I can make this decision. Okay? So in my estimation, no. Women can't be hobosexuals because a woman is going to contribute to the household. And that's what a hobosexual doesn't do. He's a leech. He doesn't contribute. He steals, he takes, he drains. And then when you finally get sick of him, he moves on to the next woman who's going to let her move into his house. Whereas when a woman comes in, she's going to be cooking, cleaning, ironing your shirts. Okay. And she came in with Skrilla. I mean, $400. I'm going to see if I can find her profile. And I'm like, do you date girls? No? Okay. Just checking, girl. Just checking. All right. So what do you guys think? Can women be hobosexuals? Get up in that Discord. Get up in the comment section. Of course, you can find us at No Niche Zone Pod across all platforms. And let me know, what do you think? Can a woman be a hobosexual? Shout out to Terry Joe. Are you a hobosexual? Okay, I'm going to stop. All right, let us move on, y'all. We are going to get into a documentary deep dive. Now, we already started this documentary deep dive previously on Netflix's Escaping Twin Flames documentary. And we talked about we talked about this previously in a couple parts. And I had watched about 2 out of the 3 full episodes and did my segments. And then, I don't know if you remember, but a little drama came my way because one of the people that I was talking about from the documentary, I posted a clip of this on my TikTok and she found me. She left a few angry messages, a few angry comments, did an angry response video. And so I was like, you know what? I don't want that smoke. I don't want no problems. So I never finished. The documentary. And I was like, you know what? I'm just have to put that on the shelf. But the clips that I did post, I kept getting this one comment over and over and over again. And it was something to the effect of, did you get to the part about the gender stuff? Did you get to the part about the transitioning stuff? Did you get to the part where they forced people to transition? And I was like, wait, whoa. Okay, now I gotta go back. Okay, now I gotta go back and finish this. So I did. I had to go back and finish and see what was up. And y'all, I'm so glad I did because my socks were knocked the hell off. And they were already knocked off from the first 2 installments of this doc deep dive that we did here. Guys, Oh my God. Just to recap, for those who don't recall, Escaping Twin Flames is a Netflix documentary about the twin flame universe, which is what some people would call a quote, high control group. That is a nice way of saying a cult. Okay? They are supposedly, allegedly a cult run by Jeff and Shalia. And if you remember, I told you guys, Shalia is actually a white girl named Megan who used to have dreads. And she changed her name to Shalia. And Jeff changed his last name to Ayan. I love white people when they be doing stupid shit like this. But hey, hey, we got, So run by Jeff and Shalia, okay? And it's a mostly online group. And the Twin Flames universe mission is to help you find your twin flame by any means necessary. Heavy on any means necessary, because that's where this starts to turn into a cult. That by any means necessary. For those who don't know what a twin flame is, a twin flame is, back in the day we would call this like a soulmate, although a soulmate is technically different from a twin flame. A twin flame essentially is supposed to be two people who share a soul. They're one half of the same flame. Okay? That is what a twin flame is. You could think soulmate, you could think deep lover, whatever. But their goal is to help you find your twin flame and then help you prosper in your twin flame union. And previously, we talked about some of the outrageous things that they did and had their members doing. For example, that one member who found me online, she had an ex who had a restraining order against her. And the twin flame universe, Jeff and Shalia, told her that that was her twin flame. The ex who had a restraining order against her. They told another woman who was in her 40s, a 40-something-year-old woman, that her twin flame was a 20-something-year-old, a 20-year-old man who was gay. Okay? And they did all kinds of other wild things. If you want to know about that, go back to the previous installments of this Doc Deep Dive. But today we're going to talk about the next level of their insidiousness in this high control group. So as we continue, one of the things that we find out is that the Twin Flames universe really has these real traditional heteronormative values, but they couch them and hide them behind these faux, non-traditional, inclusive values. Okay? I know that sounds a little confusing, and it is confusing. And that's kind of the point, all right? So, for example, they're super open to LGBTQ. They have, of course, they have their you can click on the LGBTQ section and, flags, pride flags here, pride flags there. There was a upper level staff member who she's not dead. She's a trans woman, and she was talking about how, mind you, she's escaped now, but she's talking about how, they made her the poster child of trans everybody, So they are very welcoming and inviting to all kinds of non-traditional relationships. But underneath it all, they have really strong heteronormative values. And that manifests as them preaching that every twin flame union always has a divine masculine and a divine feminine. Always, okay? No matter who is in this union, there's always a divine feminine and a divine masculine, okay? So they don't believe, I don't want to say they don't believe because they don't say this outright, but essentially, that logic is dismissive of things things like non-binary people, gender non-conforming people, right? People who are in same-sex relationships who don't feel like they're not the masculine or the feminine, whatever, right? It doesn't apply to them. It's super dismissive of that, right? But they talk out of both sides of their mouth. Okay? And they would explain what they mean by every union has a divine masculine and and divine feminine in this warped, manipulative, kind of spiritual talk kind of way. And I know it sounds weird what I'm saying. So I'm gonna play a little something so you can hear it, because it really is confusing, and it is intentionally confusing. And they talk in like this weird spiritual speak thing. Unfortunately, I thought I had the clip. I don't have the clip, but I'm gonna post it on the Instagram. So take a look. It's just like they'll say things, for example, like, you know, yes, you are the divine masculine, whether you have a vagina or not, you know, you have an invisible penis, like weird shit like that. That's like super hyper, like heteronormative and hyper masculine. They're setting up these pseudo, like non-heteronormative values with these, you know, super extremely heteronormative values, which then eventually leads Jeff and Shalia to tell people whether or not they were divine feminine or divine masculine. Okay? They would tell people that they had channeled this information. And it didn't matter whether or not you were a woman or a man, what you identified with, they would tell you. So you could be a woman who never once identified as anything but being a cisgender woman. And they would be like, hey, you need to get in touch with your divine masculine. And they would literally tell these people that's who they were, and they need to start embracing it and start transitioning. They had that woman who was in her 40s, who was, you know, they told her that her divine partner was the 20-something-year-old gay man. She happened to be bisexual, but she's still alive also. She is a cisgender woman. And they got her to the point that she chopped off her hair. She was dressing, quote, like a man. And that's the other aspect of this. Their heteronormative values are so like heteronormative. You know what I mean? Like, so having short hair makes you masculine. You know what I mean? Like they were telling people to tap into their divine feminine by bringing in cut flowers in their house and dressing. It's just such bullshit. And they really affected people's lives with this. And they started convincing these folks to literally transition. And for some folks, you know, this wasn't that big of a deal for them. There was a lesbian woman who said that, you know, when they told her that she has to tap into her divine feminine or her divine masculine, she was like, well, you know, I was a tomboy. So, you know, it wasn't that big of a deal. Like, shrug, who cares, right? But for others, this was their freaking breaking point. And they were like, hell no, this is crazy. This is one person who, I'm going to play a little clip of one person who this was their breaking point when they were like, yeah, you need to transition. You need to tap into your divine masculine.
They were already calling me he, him, and I had asked them multiple times not to say he, him, that I was she, her. So even understanding divine feminine, divine masculine, like I just said, I'm a divine feminine. And then they told me to mirror it and continue to mirror it. But the thing that finally pushed me over the edge is when I came out to my mom. I flat out did the next step because I knew I had no choice. So I just finally came out to her and said, I'm a male. Mom. And her reply was, do you genuinely feel that way, or is it because of what they said? She didn't call them a cult. She asked me a logical question. I thought about it and told her it's them. They told me. I've never honestly felt that way ever. And she said, do you want to leave? And I went, I don't know. I don't know how to leave. I don't know. I just am scared. I don't want to go to hell. Jeff said that you think we're a cult. You think I'm in a cult. And she went, oh, baby, I don't think anything. I just want my baby girl back.
Okay? That was this girl's breaking point. They were telling her to refer to herself as a man. Oh my God. And some people did it. Like I said, that one woman, and she's not the only one. A lot of people like in this cult, in this group, I shouldn't say cult, alleged cult, followed through and embraced their divine fill in the blank. And then Jeff and Shalia upped the ante again, as if it wasn't enough. Now they're controlling whether or not what gender you choose to be. Oh boy. Then one day, Jeff and Shalia made an announcement that they had channeled, okay? They're channeling, baby. Go ahead, baby. Okay? They channeled these twin flame couples and put out this list. Now, mind you, all these people on this twin flame list, they had already had previous twin flames, right? So Jeff and Shalia were like, oh, screw those people. They're not your twin flames anymore. Forget about them. And they created a new list from people from the twin flame universe, from the group. So they just paired these random people together. People who barely knew each other, people who had met each other once or twice, people who hadn't met each other. And and most of the couples that they put together on this list were queer couples with people who were not queer. They had motherfuckers who did not date same sex. Suddenly they were in same sex. They paired them in a same sex relationship. And what do you think their justification was? Oh, well, there's no such thing as every couple has a divine feminine and divine masculine. So you just happen to be the divine masculine. I know you're a woman and you never felt like you were anything but we're telling you that you're actually divine masculine. And again, this was the breaking point for some people. Some people dipped. The woman who chopped off all her hair and everything, the first person she was assigned to, she dipped. She was like, I don't want to be with this woman. I don't remember if she was even queer or not. But she was like, I don't want to be with this person. And that was her exit. But that woman who cut off her hair, she stayed. She chopped off her hair. She started dressing like a man and they paired her with somebody else. So they set up these arranged couples, many of whom were with people who were in relationships of same-sex relationships, and they're not queer people. And I mean, it was just wild. It was just wild. And these couples that they paired together were like, because, a lot of this stuff most of it's done online, So they have like videos of these people and literally saying like, when I got paired with this person, I was like horrified. Like I told you, for some people, that was their breaking point. And you have these people who are in the documentary who escaped saying like, when I was put on this list, I was like, what the fuck? There's one couple who's still in the group that they highlighted, Isaiah and Sage, okay? Isaiah is a trans man who, according to his mother, had never talked about transitioning once until he joined the twin flame universe. Sage is a trans woman. I don't recall her background. However, there's a clip of them talking about how they were paired together and their initial reaction and how they felt. I want you to listen to how they describe what it was like when they found out that they were being paired together. And I don't know if they're still together today, but as of this documentary, they were still together. So the voice that you're hearing is Isaiah, the trans man, and then you'll hear Sage come in for a hot second. She only says like one little thing.
I was scared to death leaving my house. My feeling upon meeting Sage, honestly, it felt like I was meeting a stranger, and we did feel that initial kind of like shock and disappointment, I guess. Yeah, meeting each other. It's telling us like how much deeper we have to go in loving ourselves and really getting to know ourselves, because we're really just at the beginning.
She says she was shocked and disappointed when she got paired with this person. And then Sage chimed in, yeah. And what does she say? Well, we just have to work on ourselves, because that's what this twin flame universe does. They make everything about you. It's an internal issue, which, big picture, of course, the world outside is a reflection of our inside, but they're using that in a manipulative way. We talked previously about the mirror exercise, where every negative feeling you have, you're supposed to look in a mirror and recognize that, or not look in a mirror, but like imagine, recognize that whatever you're feeling about somebody else is really what you're feeling about you. So that leads to a situation where if someone's doing you wrong, they never have to take responsibility for it because it's really you. Isaiah, I'm hoping that Isaiah really is a trans man and that this is not something that they're going to look back on and regret. I'm sure there's some people who transitioned and, were meant to transition and wanted to, but the majority of these people did not. And they forced it on them, which is wild, and then forced them into couples, which is wild, but in the context of this group isn't, because they were forcing heterosexual couples too. We talked about that previously. Forcing people to get together, and then you're getting married 2-3 months, sometimes even weeks later, moving in with these motherfuckers weeks later, strangers. Complete strangers. And then, as if it couldn't get any worse, they didn't stop there, guys. This is why I had to talk about this, because it just kept getting worse. They didn't stop there. Then they talked about golden children. So according to Jeff and Shalia, they were actually they weren't just part of a twin flame duo. They were part of a twin flame trio. Okay? They actually had an unborn daughter. This is what they're saying. Their third twin flame is their unborn daughter named Grace Violet Divine. What is a golden child? Who is Grace Violet Divine? Essentially, she is someone who is going to be born perfect, already highly ascended. And the most important part about Grace, I don't want to say the most important, but they made a lot of emphasis on this, is that Grace Violet Divine will be celibate. So Jeff and Shalia are talking about their future unborn child, her celibacy. What? I have a clip. I got to play that because I said, why are you talking? Let me just play this damn clip.
We did not go through IVF for infertility reasons. We wanted to ensure that Grace got the right body for her gender-wise.
Our third twin flame is, so-called celibate, because she can satisfy herself completely and give herself all the sex she needs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been talking to her about that.
That was Jeff and Shalia talking about their unborn daughter. That's Jeff saying that his unborn daughter will be celibate because she'll be able to satisfy herself and give herself all the sex she needs. After they said that they went to IVF, not for fertility reasons, but to ensure that she was a girl. Why? And then when he says, she told me she would be able, she would have all the sex she wants in her life. Shalia is like, oh yeah, she told me that, because she's in communication with her spirit baby, by the way. Why is anybody talking about their unborn baby's sex life? Here's another clip of Jeff talking about it.
Oh, poor Grace. She's not going to be with her man. She's not going to get laid until they ascend.
Or your parents were so controlling. Jeff and I, we're forcing this on her.
Let me play that again. It's a little. That's Jeff in the beginning saying, "Oh, poor Grace. She's not going to get laid." This is his unborn daughter he's talking about. Let me play that again.
Oh, poor Grace. She's not going to be with her man. She's not going to get laid until they ascend.
Or your parents were so controlling. Jeff and I, we're forcing this on her.
That's Shalia being like, people thinking that we're forcing this on her. I mean, she ain't even born yet. You goddamn right you're forcing it on her. That shit is weird, yo. And I'm in my mind, I'm just thinking oh Lord, because it turns out she's now pregnant with this child, however many years later, okay? A man worrying about his future baby daughter's sex life, a big red flag. Big red flag. And then eventually they said that other members can have golden children. And guess what the qualifications for having golden children were? Your income. The couple had to make at least $10,000 a month in order to be, quote unquote, eligible to qualify for having golden children. And their golden children will be twin flames of other people's golden children. I mean, it's giving big cult. And of course, the queer couples and the other couples who could not naturally conceive, they started seeking out sperm donors. And what's so wild is they were showing clips from their Facebook page, their Facebook group, and people on the Facebook group talking about we need a sperm donor. Is anybody interested? Imagine getting your sperm donor from a goddamn Facebook group. Somebody call Phaedra from Real Housewives of Atlanta. Who remembers when she read Kenya Down about a sperm donor needing, all you know is that your sperm donor needed $25 to get a pizza. That was one of the fiercest reads ever in Real Housewives history. But these people were seeking sperm donors on Facebook. And then this is where it gets even worse. Eventually, Jeff and Shalia start dictating who's to be whose sperm donor. I mean, what level of control don't they want is the question. You're controlling who's with whom. You're controlling what they eat. We talked about that in one of the previous installments. They literally gave them a diet, controlled what they eat, a diet of unhealthy food, by the way. Okay? That was one of the things that we talked about, how so many people in the group gained an insane amount of weight in such a short amount of time and were unhealthy and were having issues. So they're controlling your diet. They're controlling who you're with. They're controlling your gender. They're controlling now who the hell is going to be the father of your children. Whew. And I know people go like, how, Sway? How did these people get caught up in this? How did they not walk away? Obviously, some people did. That's how we have this documentary, right? But one of the things about this group is that it's mostly online. And a lot of it is done in like Facebook groups and like lives, YouTube lives and things like that. So there is a lot of peer pressure. They would show like little like posts from the Facebook groups of people like making posts like, oh my God, I'm lauding their twin flame unions that really they were suffering behind closed doors. But, in public, on a public post in Facebook, they're succumbing to the pressure. I was in a popular ass Facebook group here in LA for Black women in LA and also all women in LA. It was two separate groups. I'm not gonna say the name, but I was in this quite a few years ago. And yeah, cult mentality. There's a lot of pressure because you always have people, there's always somebody looking, always somebody watching, somebody commenting. So I understand why these people, were working so hard to make their disastrous situations seem like they were better than they were. Also, straight up desperation and the patriarchy. The patriarchy convinces all of us that we're nothing, especially women, that we're nothing if we don't have a man. And that was true. That was true at a point when you couldn't even get a bank account. That was true when you had to rely upon a man in order to support yourself. But in this new millennium, we still have that holdover mentality that without a man, women ain't shit. And that's not true. But if you are approaching life with that mentality, you will do anything to get a man. Anything. You might even let somebody tell you that you're a different gender and go and rock with that. You might let somebody set you up with somebody that you don't even like and try to force that situation to be. One of the best things that I learned, one of the best things for me in life was being single for a long time, having a long stretch of being single, and also being single like later into my life. I'm an elder millennial. So like my mind maturing and not being distracted by, some dude in my face stressing me out and draining me helped me to take like the beer patriarchal goggles off. Okay? And see shit for what it is. I remember that desperation feeling from when I was in my 20s of like, I don't want to be single, because they get in your head, dog, and tell you you ain't shit without a man. There's something wrong with me if I'm single. No, dog. There's nothing wrong with you. And when you come from that perspective of like, I'm desperate, I don't want to be judged, family pressure, money pressure. When you're in that place and you're, seeking love for all the wrong reasons, then you will tolerate so much fuck shit. And you will do so much to have that relationship, like joining a cult. So be careful, y'all. Make sure you are seeking a relationship because you actually want one. Not because you feel the pressure from outside. You don't want to be judged. Your friends are getting married. Everybody's having a baby, blah, blah, blah. That's how you end up in these horrible relationships where you're trapped and miserable and slowly dying on the inside. And speaking of that, this is a great segue into our next topic. And that is Cardi B and Offset have officially broken up. Cardi got on live this week to announce that she is officially single. And then a few days later, she got on live to curse Offset out. So let's hear her single announcement first.
I don't know if it's true. I don't think it's true. I don't care to find out because I've been single for a minute now, but I have been afraid to I'm not afraid. I just don't know how to tell the world. But I feel like today has been like a sign. The last time I got on live, I kind of wanted you guys to tell you. I kind of wanted to tell you guys, but I didn't know how to tell you. So I was like, I changed my mind. But it has been like this for a minute now. And I just took it as a sign. So I wanna start 2024 like fresh, open. I don't know. I'm curious for a new life, for a new beginning.
Okay, Cardi, good for you, girl. So I don't know if you heard in the beginning, she's like, I don't know. What she's referring to is one of the people in her live asked her about the rumor that Krishan, shout out to Krishan Rock, Krishan hooked up with Offset, that Blueface came on the internet and called her out and said that she had hooked up with Offset. She was saying, I don't know if it happened, and I don't even care to know because, dun dun dun, I am single. Okay? And of course, we're all wondering the same thing. Is this for real this time? Because last time, she broke up with him after he cheated on her. And she went right back, okay? And I'm not judging her at all. Listen, sometimes you gotta do things a few times before you really realize it's not worth it. So I wonder, what do you guys think? Do you think that she's gonna go back? Do you think that this is it for real, for real? In the meantime, Cardi got back on live again a few days later because apparently Offset was acting up, and listen to this one, y'all.
Because you will talk to her and a mother will play in your face over and over and over and over and over again, and she'll be like, watch what I'm about to do, watch what I'm about to say. And it's so sad that I like to, this mother really like to play games with me when I'm at my most vulnerable time, when I'm not the most confident. He likes to play games with me because he knows I'm not an easy girl. He knows yesterday I could have been out, I could have been chilling, I could have been this and that. He knows I'm in my house. He knows that I'm chilling. He knows I'm not doing the most. And I've really been sparing you. You've been feeling yourself, because of your album and shit. And you've really been doing me dirty after so many years that I'm motherfucking up your ass. Not even a thank you that I got for your. And it's so crazy that I gotta go to the internet because whenever I tell you something, you don't take seriously. And I'm so tired of it.
Damn. Sorry, you couldn't hear a lot of it because it was a lot of cursing in there. There's a lot, all those the blank spots was her cursing. Going the hell off. I don't know. Maybe it's for real this time. Who fucking knows? I will say this much. Listen, ladies. Don't ever have no motherfucker have you on Michelle Obama's interweb screaming and crying and angry like that. Let me tell you, if a motherfucker's getting under your skin like that, it's because your patriarchal brainwashing and programming is working. I need you to take out a pen and write the fuck what the hell I'm saying down, okay? If a motherfucker can get under your skin like that, a man can get under your skin like that, women, it is because your patriarchal programming is in full effect. Because all of this is by design, yo. The patriarchy and men thrive on women being angry. They thrive on women's rage. Why? Well, first of all, when a woman is raging, she's off her game. And you know, when a woman is on her game, most men can't fuck with her. So they try to get you off your game by getting you upset. That's why they be doing this shit. They're not doing things accidentally. They're doing it on purpose. They want you upset. Men, especially cishet men, are energy vampires, okay? They will steal your energy. When you're getting upset like that, they're just drinking it up with a straw. They suck women dry in a plethora of ways, okay? I don't know if you guys heard about this sleep study that was done, or a few sleep studies, I think. Do you know that when men sleep next to a woman, that they sleep way better? And that when women sleep next to men, they sleep worse? Sleeping next to a sleeping next to a woman is like charging their battery. And meanwhile, we're sleeping worse. They suck us dry. Then let's talk about the free labor that women do for men. They suck us dry. And then, of course, the non-stop nagging with these dudes. Go do this. Go pick that up. Don't put your shoes there. Put your shoes here. You have to take this out. They suck us dry. And they incite rage to wear us down. So it's to knock us off our game, it's to suck up our energy, and it's to wear us down. There is a TikToker that I really love, Laura Burns. She was talking about her ex-husband and how he would always, without fail, throw his clothes right next to the hamper. Not in the hamper, not on top, right next to it on the floor. No matter how many times she told this motherfucker, he would always dump it right next to the floor. They do that to wear you down. You have two options. Either you're going to put it away and shut the hell up, or you're going to speak up and now you're in a fight and boom, they got access to your rage. My ex-bestie from back in the day, she told me about how her man busted a hole in her door. And he told her, I just want to see you get upset. He told her that. They do it on purpose. So Cardi's screaming and all that stuff, he did that shit on purpose. Ladies, don't have these men having you go off like this. They do it on purpose. It's intentional. And the fact of the matter is these motherfuckers ain't nothing to be tripping over at all. And when you take off the patriarchy beer goggles, you see these motherfuckers for what they really are. And a lot of them ain't shit. Another one of my favorite, she's not really a TikToker, she's a content creator, Priscilla, Pastor P. AKA Auntie, the Queen Maker. I love her. She has great content on YouTube, on TikTok, and, she's used some of my content in her content before. So thank you, sis. Thank you, Queen. But she talks, she did this super cut of men basically telling on themselves about how trash they are. And it's a long supercut and I couldn't find it, but I want to play one piece of it so you can just hear exactly what she and I am trying to tell you. This is Ray J, by the way, Brandy's brother talking. Just listen to what he says.
Drawers or white briefs, and the person who washing your clothes definitely can see the doodle streaks coming out. It's real. It's real.
I'm sorry. I'm just gonna pause this real quick. Did you hear what he just said? Can see the doodle streaks in your drawers. Keep this in mind. I'm just gonna play the whole. This is
white drawers or white briefs, and the person who washing your clothes definitely can see the doodle streaks coming out. It's real. It's real. White drawers. You want to be washing your own white drawers. You don't want nobody in there in the washing machine with you, especially if you just had a day where you was moving around, trying to run around, get shit done. You took a shit, you moved around. No. You get me? So out of respect, if somebody is washing your white drawers, don't ever have an attitude with them. Don't ever get funky with them, because all they got to do is just say, hold on, let me just go get these doodle streaks and go down here and put people back in play. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to talk too much about it. It's just a lesson to avoid that, and the fellas to keep your sexy and your cool with it, walking around the house with your shirt off, being fly. Black drawers, man. Black drawers.
Ray J came to the internet to tell men to wear black drawers to hide their doodle streaks. And this is not an uncommon thing. There was a whole trend on TikTok of women making videos, making comments about the horror stories that they've had hooking up with a dude and they find brown streaks in their sheets. Ready to toss a motherfucker's salad, parting the Red Sea to find a horror show. Dudes coming on the internet saying, I don't wipe between my cheeks. I just let the water run through it in the shower. This, ladies, this is what you're screaming on the internet over. And that's just one aspect. I mean, should I get into the lack of emotional intelligence? Should I get into the immaturity? Should I get into the weaponized incompetence? Should I get into the nonstop manipulation? We talked about hobosexuals. Should I get into the fact that these motherfuckers show up with a mask on and then 3 months later rip that shit off, and then you get married and rip off the next mask, and then you have a kid and they rip off the final mask? Should I get into that? Don't have these, if these fools have you going off like this on the internet, crying and screaming, it's because you don't see them for what they really are. You're wearing patriarchy beer goggles, and it's not your fault. We were all brainwashed. Now it's time to do the unbrainwashing. This is not a Disney movie. Relationships and love are not Disney movies, and sadly, because our parents didn't know what the hell they were doing, we had to learn everything from Disney movies and 80s and 90s rom-coms. Y'all, we are coming to the end of our show. Oh my gosh. This was an interesting show. Of course, you can find us across all platforms at No Niche Zone Pod. You can find me at Pris the Goddess across all platforms. You can send us your listener letters at nonichezone@gmail.com. And of course, we're on Discord. So get up on that Discord, get in a conversation, start a conversation. And that's it for us. We'll see you next time.